Hi everybody and welcome back. It's been a while since I've spoken to you all. One of the things that I did when I was on my Christmas Disneyland Paris trip was film some sort of, I called it behind the scenes, like making of, just showing you the processes I go through for sorting all my stuff out every night, the equipment I use and what sort of, how I charge everything and how I carry everything around in my park bag. So I'm going to show you that. And then after I've shown you that, we'll look a little bit about how I film other stuff as well to make it into a bit of an all-round making of video. So this is my sort of on location, behind the scenes section. So watch that, see what happens when I'm actually out and about filming, and then I will show you a little bit more about how I've got stuff set up at home for when I'm doing what I call talkie videos like this. And I'll show you my editing software as well, so you can see a little bit about what I'm doing when I'm editing to make it a full end-to-end making of video. So enjoy. So I just thought I'd give you a little behind the scenes, like making of Pennie K vlogs, just to show you what I have to do every night when I come to bed. I've got a little system, so basically because everything gets mixed up in my bag while I'm out during the day, I just move stuff in and out. The first thing I do is I get everything out of my hand luggage, out of my park bag. So basically I have to spread everything out. So I've got clothes, annual pass, more clothes, ears, cables, chargers, tripod, all my dead batteries that I need to charge. And then I've got this little case that I carry with me, which has got all my cables and chargers and memory cards. This plug is amazing. It's got 4 USBs, it's got a US adapter, and then it's got a French and English adapter. I've got another one here for my batteries as well, so I'll plug everything in. So in my little memory card pouch I have got a whole load of memory cards. Both my cameras take SD cards, so I've got micro SDs and I've got adapters. And then I have got a load of old memory cards just in case for emergencies. I tend to use about probably 20 gig a day, I think. Yeah, 15 to 20 gig a day. Obviously I edit a lot of that out, but something like a 2-week Florida holiday I'll be over 200 gigs. Something like a 4-day trip, I normally use 2 64 memory cards. They won't be completely full, but I don't like to use memory cards until they're full. I like to swap them out after a couple of days in case I lose the camera, drop it, it breaks, or the card doesn't format or anything properly, so I won't lose like the whole trip's footage, I'll just lose some of it. So I don't completely fill my cards, but I do use, for this trip I'll definitely use 2 64 gig cards, especially because the shows are so good. So I use this charger here, and I will rotate. I wake up in the night anyway because I'm a restless sleeper, so I need to charge all 3 of these overnight. Unfortunately this camera I can't charge the battery without the actual box charger, which I don't have. That is now dead, so that can go in there. We're not going to need that again for the rest of the trip. And then what I have overnight is my phone, and my power bank is charging. I actually fully drained that today. I had to charge my phone 4 times because it's so cold it expired. Also, please don't look at the amount of elastoplast holding my cables together. So yeah, that's just a little bit of what I use. I know people like to know what sort of equipment people use. If you want to see this camera, it is a Sony DSC2200X, 2200X I think. I take still pictures on my Canon 600D. I've got my 18 to 135mm lens on at the moment because I knew for big band and other shows I would want a good lens. So yeah, there you go. That's everything that I use for vlogging and photo taking. So now everything's plugged in and charging. The camera will also plug into the USB charger, so I can also charge another battery overnight in the camera as well. So without further ado, I'm going to plug this one in, so see you in the morning. I'm just going to quickly show you how I carry my stuff for the day during the park before we head out. So all of my spare batteries and stuff go in this bag, so they're waterproof. I've got an iPhone charger, I've got my power bank with the charger, and they go in the front pocket of my bag, along with the little tripod that I use if I'm filming and taking pictures at the same time. And my DSLR goes in this like fleece-lined pouch thing, which does give it quite a lot of protection and takes up less room than a normal case. So that's all of the equipment that I use when I'm away, how I charge it, how I carry it, how I manage it. As I'm out and about filming during the day, I don't tend to change memory cards during the day because I have big, like 64 gig memory cards which I won't use up in a day. But I do change batteries, and some days I do go through all 7 batteries. So I will carry 7 batteries. I have them in their little plastic covers. Once I've used a battery, it goes back in the bag, but it goes outside of the cover, so I know quickly when I'm trying to find a new battery that anything that's in a plastic cover is a new battery, anything that's outside of a plastic cover is a discharged battery. Some days I'll only use 2 batteries because I'll constantly have my camera plugged into the portable charger, and that just keeps it topped up. But what tends to happen, because it's cold first thing in the morning, my first battery, if I vlog as I leave the room and as I'm travelling to the park, tends to run out just as I get into the park for extra magic hours. So that tends to wipe out the first battery of the day, and then I will just keep changing my batteries, and depending on how much I'm filming and how cold it is will depend on how quickly the batteries run out. In November, when it was really cold, my batteries were lasting maybe 5 minutes. I wasn't even getting to film a whole show outside because it was so cold. So I was keeping, as well as having the batteries in my bag, in the plastic bag that I showed you, I also had one in each of my trouser pockets so that my body warmth was actually keeping the batteries warm to keep them charged. So just things like that, little behind the scenes tips as to how I make things work. You might have noticed when I showed you the camera in the mirror in the location shot, there's a little furry thing on top of my camera. That is a muff, which actually stops the wind noise. So if you watch home videos and you hear that noise, sometimes you don't even feel that it's windy, and when you watch videos back you will hear that noise. That muff just cuts it out. I think it was about £15 on Amazon, and it is just called something like a muff, I think. And yeah, got it on Amazon, and it's brilliant. It cuts out all the noise. It's got a bit dishevelled, it needs a little bit of a trim, but it works absolutely perfectly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave the camera where it is so you can see how it's set up. I'm going to film a little section on my phone. The quality is going to be much poorer, but it's only going to be about 30 seconds of footage just to show you how I've got my setup going on here. Please excuse the state of my living room. I've been at work all day. I've been mucking out my horse, and then I've come home. So I'm in jodhpurs. The house is a mess, but I'm just going to show you how I've got stuff set up. Then we'll switch back to this camera and I'll show you the editing software. So this is what my camera setup looks like. I have a tripod here, three-legged tripod, that's obvious. I've also got a light. I'm going to turn the light off because it's stopping you from seeing the camera, but I have a light mounted on my tripod, and I can have either a warm cover or I can have a white cover depending on how harsh I want the light to be. Let's turn that off. And then my camera, here's my muff, just sits on top of the tripod like that. So there you go. Please excuse the mess. I'm going to turn that back on because we're now going to switch back to talking to you on this camera. So just very quickly before we look at editing, because I don't want this to be a mammoth video because then it's going to get really boring and you're going to be like, yeah, we don't really care. For water parks and water rides, which is more applicable to Walt Disney World, I don't take this to Disneyland Paris just because my bag for Disneyland Paris is very heavy because it's big and it has like spare clothes and stuff in it that I don't need for Florida because it's warmer. But I have got a waterproof camera, a GoPro look-alike, knockoff, whatever you want to call it, for 20 quid. So 20 quid plus I think it was £2 post and packing. So I ordered it, tested the cover in the sink to make sure it wasn't going to leak before I put the camera in the swimming pool, and actually the video quality is brilliant. It is fisheye, so I'm not that keen to use it for regular vlogging, but it does give really good colour, quality, crystal clear videos, and the pictures are really good, and because it is fisheye you get some really good wide angle photographs as well. So this is the camera. It's just called HD camera, I think, action camera. It looks just like a GoPro, it works just like a GoPro, but the added advantage is that it's got a view screen on the back so you can see what it's doing. It does photos, it does photo bursts, and it does HD video. It's also Wi-Fi connected. It's got a micro USB there for charging. It takes the same size batteries as a GoPro. I've not tried the GoPro batteries in it yet because we do have a GoPro, but I haven't tried it. And it's got a waterproof camera which is filthy. So I might give that a clean. But yeah, it's really, really good. The only thing, as you get with GoPros as well, is that once you've got the cover on, the sound quality is poor. It's not too bad with the cover on when you're filming like this because the microphone's on the back, but for vlogging it's not brilliant. However, for 20 quid I was really pleased with that. So that's how I film all of my waterproof footage, and that does take a micro SD card. So then the last thing to show you is how I edit. I use Sony Movie Studio Platinum 13. To be honest, I don't like it. It's quite clunky. It converts the videos into really high memory videos, so they take up a lot of space. But I'm starting to get quicker on it now. I'm getting used to it. However, if I was buying software again, I wouldn't buy this one. I've just got an HP laptop. I do sometimes use it with a mouse connected, but I tend to edit sat on the sofa watching TV with my laptop on my lap, just editing away with my headphones in, because it's much easier to edit with headphones because you can hear the dialogue. I don't know if you can see the mouse, there it is. So this is all my footage, and this is actually the video you're watching now that I'm editing. These are my video files, these are my audio files, and this is where I can watch a preview. So if I just press pause, oh, we're at the end of the video, so there you go. That is my preview, and then I can pause it and I can use the tools down here and up here to edit, and I've got a sound thing over here as well. There you go, whistle stop tour. You're off the tripod at the moment, but that is basically how I make the vlogs that you watch and how I make the talky YouTube videos that you get to see. I hope you found it interesting, and yeah, that's it really. If you've got any questions about the equipment I use or how I make videos, then let me know, and I hope you carry on enjoying my videos for many years, I guess, to come. Thanks for watching.